Well, I think a lot of people remember the Dukes of Hazzard TV show. And, actually, I watched. I got them all on DVD, and I swear to God, I am not a person that watches old TV shows, but this one I like, man. And actually, sometimes I watch actor Jimmy Best from way back when he was playing on the Andy Griffin Show. Man, he's quite a talented individual for sure. Always like I like the whole. Actually, my favorite character on the show was Cooter. But I'm going to tell you, this is one of the game. This is one of the angles I would have played if I was writing. Not that I want to be a Hollywood movie script writer, but if I was writing it, well, let me just tell you the way I think. The deal was this: in exchange for keeping Bo Duke and Luke Duke out of prison and just having terms of probation, the federal government made a deal with Jesse, Uncle Jesse, not to produce any moonshine anymore. That was the whole thing. And Boss Hogg was always trying to get him to break their probation to get him out of his hair because, they were always wrecking his financial schemes. Now, the terms of the agreement were this: that Uncle Jesse, couldn't make any moonshine, and Bo and Luke Duke couldn't break probation. Now, here's my angle. This is this is just how I think. What I would have done is this: I would have had Cooter make the moonshine because he's not in the agreement, and I would have had Daisy Duke as a silent partner, not involved directly in making moonshine, but as a silent partner in the proceeds. And then Uncle Jesse could provide instruction on his secret formula. Now, where this could come in play for Cooter is, maybe there might need be a deal where it's worked out. You gotta play along with the way I think, because the whole show could have took a whole nother angle on this crap. There maybe could have been a deal where Cooter could have had a partial financial interest in Jesse's farm. Now, where that would actually come into benefit Cooter would be this: Cooter could then have part of his business as agricultural, which has immense tax credits in it, and on top of it, there could be other expenses that are involved with the farming and the agricultural aspects, repairing the tractor and stuff. Maybe some type of tools and equipment that he couldn't necessarily expense on his mechanic business, that he can expense on the agricultural side. Plus, the manufacture of moonshine could be used to run the General Lee, the '69 Dodge Charger, and also the farm equipment on Jesse Duke's farm. So this way, Jesse Duke wouldn't be breaking any agreements with the federal government. The Duke boys wouldn't be breaking their probation. And since, what's her name again? Daisy Duke was not directly involved in moonshining, she could just be a partner, a silent partner. And actually, I would have had her not even work in Boss Hogg's, what do you call that, the boar's nest. I would have had her working with which Cooter in the garage, handing him tools, which could have been a whole nother. I'm not a Hollywood writer, but man, this would have been the scheme, because I like the moonshine theme. One of my favorite episodes in the Dukes of Hazzard, the first 5 episodes when they had it in Georgia were the best. And you could tell episode 6 where it was in California, man. You could tell the mountains in the background were wrong and stuff. I mean, it didn't look too bad. I mean, there's a lot of greenery because they're probably up in, I don't know where they were, north of California, slightly north of L.A. I don't know where the hell they filmed that stuff. They weren't really out in a desert, but you could tell it wasn't Georgia. And they should have kept it in Georgia, because the Georgia people were great for, putting in that show. It made it, because what the deal is, it wasn't so much, you could say it was family values and stuff, but it was a little more than that. It was more like people that care about each other. Money wasn't their primary objective. Yeah, it was fighting the system. And moonshine, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's illegal. Oh, it's because it's the brew of the devil." No, no, no. Actually, moonshine's been a medicinal for healing for many years. As a matter of fact, you look in the Russian archives about vodka. Vodka's got dozens and dozens of uses for medicinal purposes. And then moonshine was the preferred fuel when the Ford Model T first came out to run the cars off of, because the engines would last twice as long because the oil would not get dirty, and dirt in the oil is what actually wears out the bearings and scuffs the piston walls and all that garbage. It was a big conspiracy by John D. Rockefeller to push for the gasoline product, and he was the guy behind Prohibition. So, I mean, if you really want to be fighting the system, boy, I think, well, Warner Brothers, man, a bunch of weenies, They'd be too afraid to do anything. Ben Jones was absolutely right. That show should have been back in Georgia the whole time. I don't know, there's something about it I like it, though, because it's like the spirit of the South fighting against the system and all that garbage. The South's been under Reconstruction even up to this day. It's ridiculous. And, if you even look at the moonshine laws, you can actually, per the federal government, I forgot exactly what it is, up to 200 gallons of beer or wine, but you can't make moonshine without having all these permits. But I think for beer and wine personal use, I think it's up to 200 gallons. The reason is beer and wine aren't taxed that much. The whole thing's a big tax scheme. And it's all about putting the hands in the hands of Standard Oil and the big oil companies, all the where you have to get fuel from. Henry Ford wanted to have all the fuel come from leftover bad, stale agricultural products that were going rancid or something you couldn't use for human food consumption or even animal food consumption, to make that into fuel. Even hemp, the industrial hemp, the stuff that grows 12 feet high real fast in a few months, that stuff produces 10 times the amount of gasoline, or they call it hempoline, than actually, with the stuff from corn, the ethanol from corn. And plus, you don't even need to use herbicides or pesticides with it. This would have been a good theme to really push on this show. Now, I tell you, this is from the 2005 movie. I don't like the movie. I ordered it a long time ago. I was thinking of the hopes. Oh boy, they put a movie out. I was like, the worst part of it actually is what I'm looking at right here is Jessica Simpson. Now, I know Daisy Duke played it up with them shorts and stuff and the high heels and stuff, but she was not phony. Jessica Simpson came across as phony as all hell, and it was like she really destroyed that movie more than anything. Which tells you people in Hollywood don't get it. It wasn't even about so much. If Jessica Simpson, or whatever the hell her name was, if I don't even know if I'm saying it right, is that her name? I forgot what the hell her damn name is. That played on the 2005 movie. If she was even if she was a stripper, a prostitute, or whatever the hell it was, and it was like, destroyed family values out the door, but she was a genuine, down-to-earth person, like one of the people out there, and she was interacting, and she had a heart of gold, that would have worked fine, even though that wouldn't have been family values. That's really how I look at the Southern people, the heart of gold. Whether they do something wrong or not, they got that, caring, for the most part. Not everybody, but most part. Generally speaking, it's more like that down south. Now, I was, now I didn't know, I wasn't one of these people that was like, Barber Buck, Actually, I don't know what I guess probably, the character I liked in that show the most was Cooter. They should have had him more in that show because I was always relating to the cars. And, but the scheme with the moonshining, they could have really played that scheme a lot. Cooter was making a moonshine under instruction of Jesse. So Jesse's not involved. He's just a teacher. Daisy Duke's a silent partner. Daisy Duke is also working with Cooter in the garage, not doing any heavy lifting or nothing, but handing him a wrench and stuff. And instead leaving the hell with Boss Hogg. I mean, just leave him out the freaking picture. But maybe that's too Maybe that's too good. I mean, but that's just how I think. See, I know how to fight the system a little too good, you know. And then you would have, the tax credits, the farm tax credits that Cooter would get. Cooter could help out Jesse with Uncle Jesse with, the truck, which I'm sure he does anyway. But it would all be, a good wash for expenses and stuff. Um, Uncle Jesse could be running his truck off the moonshine. The general could be running off the moonshine, and everybody be benefiting. It'd be working out for anybody. Everybody. Actually, I'm probably going to put out a movie, not a movie, a video. God, a movie. A movie? What am I kidding me? Because these characters in the people that acted in Dukes of Hazzard. Boy, I don't know if I should put this out, but I was looking at. I know Waylon Jennings died of diabetes, and Uncle Jesse died of Denver Pyle. He died of um, no, not pneumonia, cancer of the lungs. Jimmy Best died of complications of pneumonia. Sorrel Brook, who played Paws Hogg, he died of, I think it was some kind of cancer of the intestines, I believe. And the stuff I know about, and I don't want to play like I'm a know-it-all doctor or anything, but I swear to God, like with Jimmy Best, even though he was 88 years old, if they would have loaded him up with true liposomal vitamin C and gave him vitamin C intravenously, his pneumonia would have been gone, man. He could have been even breathing colloidal silver vapor mist, colloidal silver water in the mist. That's been a known cure-all for incurable pneumonia. I don't want to put this out here because you know what? You know how I learned this shit? Because one of my family members died, I realized what these jackass doctors should have done. Now, so Earl Brook, he probably could have lived through, I don't know, baking soda is one of the things that gets deep down in the intestines, fights the cancer. Probably some of the plasma devices. Same with Denver Pyle. Like, the first thing when they go in the hospital, they should be giving them intravenous vitamin C. That's been known since the 1940s. That, it cures just about everything. I mean, yeah, moonshine's got its medicinal purposes too, but I mean, it's more like to me a fuel and a disinfectant. That's anything, rather than. But if you drink a shot of moonshine a day, you're probably healthy. But I don't know if it's going to moonshine. I can't see how it's going to cure anything really serious. But that would have been a game. That would have been an angle I would have played on his show. And I tell you, wish. Now who else died? Waylon Jennings. He actually had diabetes. He actually a couple months before he died, he had one of his foot amputated. I was thinking, holy shit. In I don't want to, I hate saying this shit after the fact because, like, what the problem is? When people are famous and they got more money, they get surrounded. We used to call them the BBB, the big bucks, or BBBS. They call them the big bucks bullshit. In other words, well, a classic example is Angelina Jolie with the BRAC genes. She had her breast removed and her ovaries taken out. I was like, lady, what the hell doctor sold you that bill of goods, man? I don't know. God, I'm not even a fan of hers at all. I don't watch any of her movies, but I was like, that's a classic example of, Angelina Jolie getting sold a bill of goods by the big bucks BS doctor, right? Oh yeah, there's a reason you might get cancer, yeah, whatever. But Waylon Jennings, now he's a real downer. He's legit. Like him and Johnny Cash were totally legit. Now he's one of the few guys. I'm not really a big fan of country music because I'm from up north originally, but he's one of the few country music singers I really do like. You know, he's got stuff about the Confederacy. He's got some damn good tunes. But what they could have done for his diabetes in his foot with a lack of circulation. They do this in some places in Europe. And you got to be careful because you got to know the right dosage. But what they do is they inject pure ozone into the veins. And that totally opens up the veins and causes the blood circulation to go again and just um, totally destroys any type of bad microbes that are starting to occur in the area that is getting infected. So he had to have his foot amputated, and then he died a couple months later. I'm like, God, man. What do I know, right? What do I know? I don't know nothing, right? But I'm pissed off at this kind of shit, and I think all these people could have been alive. And Ben, you better freaking stay hang around for a freaking couple more 100 years. I'm thinking that I think. Well, Ben, he's doing. I mean, I don't know. He put out Cooter's Last Stand. I'm thinking, yeah, he had some medical problems, and maybe he's thinking, well, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live, but maybe this guy can. I personally think people can live as long as Noah, the guy that filled up the ark before the flood. I think people can live as long as Noah lived in the Bible, 970 years old. You say, no, no, no. I think you can. And I actually, that Lakosky multi-wave oscillator, I think Putin uses that damn thing, Vladimir Putin. I put that on videos. That wasn't resurfaced again until I found Tony and Bruno found it in Italy so many years, not that many years ago, maybe 5 years ago. But people were, if you remember Bob Beck, he didn't know, he didn't have one, but he found plans for one. Remember when he lost like 100 pounds and his hair grew back? He's saying it was because of his zapper. I think it was because he recreated a Lakosky multi-wave oscillator from some basic blueprints, not a real one. But back in early 1940s, they started using that in New York City in one hospital and was curing everybody, and was also a prostate doctor. Then George Lakosky, he visits the city, gets run over by a limo, then they confiscate all the machines. But it wasn't just curing stuff, it was reverse aging people. Now I know who's going to be interested in that. Barbara Bach. Because she's a female. But if she gets interested in it, Tom Snyder, wait a minute, John Snyder and Tom Wopat, and Tom Snyder, yeah, right, and Ben Jones and Sonny. I like Sonny, man. What the hell's his last name? Anus, the deputy. He's another really good one. Um, they'd all be into this shit. And what the hell? Because I look at it like this. I think the good people ought to last hundreds of years. Hell with the shit. That's the way I look at it, man. Really, And I do support. I buy a lot of stuff out of Cooters, man. I've been buying a lot of stuff. Not a lot, but every couple of weeks I order some stuff. I don't know, $50 or so, and probably get a couple Cooters mechanic shirts. I want to get all his CDs. Ben Jones produced. He's got a pack of CDs, audio. Probably got some pretty good country music on it. I'm not necessarily a fan of country music, but there's certain kinds that are very genuine. Like Waylon Jennings had very genuine songs. And I figure Ben Jones is the real deal. I think he was like the kingpin of the Dukes. To tell you the truth, man. He really believes in the Southern tradition, what it's all about. And I guess Sonny's from Georgia. Anus, Deputy Anus. Jimmy Best was from Kentucky. But I don't know. To me, I would have ran this show for a load more episodes with a moonshine theme, whereby the Dukes could have made moonshine, with Cooter making it, with Daisy as a silent partner, Uncle Jesse not making it, only providing instruction, and since Daisy's a silent partner, she gets part of the proceeds. So she's not really involved in making it, though. She's just getting some of the money. And then you have Cooter having a share, his partial ownership of the farm. So he's got farm credits and tax deductions for, agriculture, which can help out his business. And they all help each other out, man. That's fighting the system. Plus, Cooter can, he always hooked up to freaking people, the boys running the general anyway. That's how I fight the system. But I'm originally from New Jersey, near New York City, near New York City, and I've been involved in accounting a long time. So that's how I fight the system, okay? But that's how I would have ran this show for another freaking 50 years, man. And you'd be wondering, Because I think all the characters, you look at Vladimir Putin. I'm going to put a video on this guy later. And I'm going to explain more about this multi-wave oscillator. I did stuff on it before. But you look at Vladimir Putin. The joke is in Russia. Who says there isn't new faces in Hollywood? And people are saying he's got a facelift. I say no. This frequency technology that reverse ages and brings into body energy, it works on anything. Animals, plants, humans. It throws off any disease, and it does it by strengthening the body. There's energies in and around us that we don't see. Now, there's not too many people that produce the real one. I know Tony and Bruno in Italy got the real plants. I got those plants. I might get one later on. I don't know. I might get a real one later on. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put it. Put up my log cabin up there in Tennessee, Got a log cabin up in Tennessee, freaking have a Lukoski multi-wave oscillator in here, a spooky central plasma machine, power zappers, Beck zappers, colloidal silver makers, ozone generators, magnetic pulsars, whatever, man. Yeah, people go in there, what the hell's all this shit? And on the outside, it looks like a log cabin. But then, if I wind up, I'm living 500 years from now. Oh well. That's what I'm hoping for these guys on the Dukes of Hazzard. Now, like I said, the one's going to listen is Barbara Bach because she's a female. Guys like to get a little older. They don't give a shit as long as they could do their shit. If they look a little older and they look more rugged, they don't give a rat's ass. Women are the ones, women, if a woman was 150 and she could look like she's 22 and still know everything for 150 years of her experience, ooh, she would love that. Females, man. Anyway, but she'd be the one probably to, I don't know. I know the one thing is when people are famous, it's like everybody thinks they know them. I don't know these people, they're actors, man. I mean, I'm sure. I like the character of Cooter on a show, but I'm sure I can. I know Ben Jones is way more Southern than me. And probably got a better heart than me. As far as being a good guy. I ain't a total good guy, but I know I could. And even though I ain't an ace mechanic, I could probably run circles around him as a mechanic. I know some shit, even though I'm a bean counter financial guy. But that would be the scheme, man. Can outsmart Boss Hogg and old Roscoe by miles. Silent partner Daisy Duke, Cooter making the stuff, Jesse freaking only instructing. And then you also got Cooter with a slight share of interest in the farm and the Jesse farm, so you can do some agricultural credits, help him out with his taxes. Be all set, man, all set. And you, Barbara Buck. Lady. Anyway, I don't know, man. I tell you what, these Hollywood people, they don't know about this shit. Because I said, they're surrounded by the big bugs bullshit, They don't know. Vladimir Putin knows some of the crap. Look at that guy. Who says there's not new faces in Hollywood, right? Now, Barbara, I'm not trying to gig on you here or nothing. I'm just telling you some information. Remember they say that in Russia? Who says there's not new faces in Russia, in Russian politics? And then people are saying Vladimir Putin's got plastic surgery. No, he don't. No, he don't. I know what he's doing. That guy ain't going nowhere, man. He's going to probably wind up looking younger and younger and younger. See, that's an example of an elitist that actually has the right shit. I don't even think. Now, some of these high-tech billionaires claim they're going to live to be 1,000 years old and stay young. And I think I know why. It's that Lukoski multi-wave oscillator, maybe other shit. And there's some other shit I know that I really can't reveal on here because it's patented. And I know I've been doing it on myself. My mom's been getting the frequencies from the... and, people looking at her picture and saying, how the hell this lady's freaking 85 years old? She doesn't even look 60. Anyway. Figured I'd just point this out. It's just a couple angles. It's only for, your information and slight entertainment only. That's all. I'm not trying to And I don't know. I tried to pull up pictures that said not copyrighted, so I don't think these are copyrighted. That's what they said. Anyway, and this is just a moonshine Wikipedia image. you know. Yeah. Anyway, cool show. Anyway, over and out. And hopefully I'm working on that El Camino, man. It's been raining out a lot, and I got to get. I want to. It's been raining out so damn much. I want to get that El Camino in bronze paint. Not doing orange, but I want to get the Confederate flag up on the roof with General Lee after I get the bronze paint on it. But it's been raining out a lot, man. And that's what happens when you're in north central Florida. You know what happens? It just rains and rains and rains.